What's going on, everyone? So the San Antonio Spurs have been ridiculous this season, have blown away every expectation so far. It's early in the season. They have tough road stretches coming up. They have all kinds of things that we're going to see what this team is really made of going forward. But you can always be better. You can kind of look at this team. At some point, you're going to need a consolidation. At some point, you're going to have to, because you're not going to be able to pay everybody. You're not going to be able to have Vassell making $27 million and all that stuff. And then, Stephon Castle, he's playing like he's going to get, a max extension. Dylan Harper at some point is going to get his. De'Aaron Fox has got his. Wemby's getting his extension next season. Or you're going to have to pay Jeremy Sohan at some point, right? Like, there's just a lot of things where you kind of look at and you're like, okay, at some point, you're going to have to kind of, consolidate things, kind of, you can still have the depth and versatility, but you're going to have to kind of work some stuff out. And you look at this team and it's like, okay, what are the kind of biggest needs that this team has? Because the guard depth is ridiculous. I think your center rotation has been fantastic. You have a lot of things that kind of check off on this list. Maybe like an upgrade if you wanted to kind of expedite things a little bit at the 3, right? But I think right now you got, Julian Champagnie's playing great. Harrison Barnes, Carter Bryant, you're evolving and having him mature over the next few years into that type of player. The 4 spot is the one spot where I'm like, you know what, yeah, you can play Wemby at the 4 and, Luke Cornett at the 5 and stuff like that. You can have Wemby at the 4 at times. But the 4 spot, a true starting 4 is probably the biggest pressing need. Is the one where you look at and go you could probably upgrade that spot. I think you're good at the 3. You have several guys that can play the 3, get you through. You have, experience, all of that stuff. Well, the Dallas Mavericks are imploding. They ended up firing Nico Harrison, which, I think we all kind of saw coming, right? Trade Luka Doncic with that going disastrous. Again, Cooper Flagg could end up being, I get they got Cooper Flagg outside. Cooper Flagg could end up being a top 10 player in all of basketball and still be nowhere close to as good as Luka Doncic, right? Think of who you rank in as the 10th best player in basketball right now. And that guy is nowhere near guys like Luka Doncic, right? So, again, Cooper Flagg could end up being, great, the 1% of all basketball and still not be anywhere close to the generational talent that Luka Doncic is. It'd be like the Spurs trading Wemby tomorrow. It didn't make any sense why you did it. And that's the return you got, right? If you would have got, the Lakers could have traded Anthony Davis, LeBron James, Austin Reeves, Max Christie, all their firsts, all their pick swaps, and all their seconds, and it still might not have been enough to justify trading a guy like Luka Doncic because of how good he is and his age, right? He's still young enough. He'd be in the league for 10 more years if he wants, right? So Dallas, you knew was going to implode at some point. Well, guess what? They're probably going to end up having a fire sale, and there's already reports that they may look to trade and shop Anthony Davis. I wouldn't sell the farm for Anthony Davis if I'm the Spurs, but if you can get him at a pretty good price, I would strongly consider it. Right? Before he went to Dallas, the Spurs probably had no shot at getting Anthony Davis. But now with Dallas and kind of what Dallas, if Dallas trades Anthony Davis, they're probably hitting the reset button and they're probably rebuilding. Right? So you're talking, they're going to want kind of the type of package that the Spurs could deliver, right? They're going to want young players and assets and picks and stuff like that and kind of rebuild around Derek Lively, Max Christie, Cooper Flagg, right? Guys like that. So could you put a package, a nice young package? You'd probably have to part with a Carter Bryant or something like that, which, because again, Anthony Davis is still healthy, top 10 player in basketball, right? So, you'd have to part with at least one or two of your young guys, but maybe you could do something like, Carter Bryant, Jeremy Sohan, because you're going to have to pay him. And I just don't think, I think you're best moving off of him. Carter Bryant, Jeremy Sohan, and a Devin Vassell package, right? Something like that, puts, a pick or something like that. Because then you still have enough depth, you still have enough versatility, you still have enough talent. And Anthony Davis might be the piece that puts you over the top because he has his playoff experience, his NBA Finals experience. And again, on any given night, he could be the best player on the basketball court. Right? And the interior defense with Anthony Davis and Victor Wembanyama, my God, like that would be ridiculous. Problem with Anthony Davis right now is he's out of shape. And he's not healthy, right? Now, in his defense, he's not out of shape because he just decided to take the offseason off, eat a bunch of bonbons, kick his legs up, and just do nothing, right? No, he's out of shape because he went and had surgery. He had the retina repair and all that stuff, and you can't do anything. Like, he couldn't work out, he couldn't run, you can't, because, you're moving your head, you're moving, so he basically had to stay stationary, right? Like, he wasn't able to do all that. So you kind of need him to ramp up and work out, right? Anthony Davis, outside of this season, or basically when he got to Dallas, as soon as he got to Dallas, everything kind of fell apart. But pre-Dallas, he was actually very healthy, right? Like, he was like, there was statistics that he was like, out of like the top 20 stars or whatever in the league, like he was the healthiest, like as far as games played, stuff like that. So like, he's a guy that, has had stretches recently where he was healthy and played a lot of basketball games. Problem is, I don't know if it's worth the risk at the moment, but Anthony Davis would be ideal for this team. I mean, ideal. Like, again, the one position you look at that are like, man, like it'd be nice to upgrade that is the 4 spot. You upgrade the 4 spot, especially with a player to the caliber of Anthony Davis. I mean, Spurs might be the best team in all of basketball at that point. De'Aaron Fox, Anthony Davis, Victor Wembanyama, Stephon Castle, Harrison Barnes is probably your starting 5. And then you still have, Dylan Harper when he gets healthy. You still have Keldon Johnson. You have Kelly Olynyk and, Luke Cornett, and like you'd still be very deep, very talented, very versatile. Your top 5 might be one of the best top 5s in all of basketball. You can go double bigs, you can go small and have Anthony Davis so you can go Wemby and have Harrison Barnes at the 4, or AD and have Harrison Barnes at the 4. You go double bigs with Wemby at the 4 and like Luke Cornett, or AD at the 4 and Luke Cornett, or it would give you so much versatility. And then plus, again, that experience, his ability to be the best player on the court on any given night. You're talking about the 2 guys that are best in the league as far as like stocks go and stuff like that. I mean, you'd be the best. The Spurs are already the number 2 defense in all of basketball. I think you're clearly number 1 defense in all of basketball. And especially if you can get, and that's why I almost said Lakers, because if you can get Lakers AD, I mean, if you get bubble AD, you're probably the best team in all of basketball. But if you could get, Anthony Davis the last few years, or like especially a motivated AD. I mean, look at what he did when he got traded to Dallas, which is also part why he got hurt, right? Because he was already hurt. And if he was on the Lakers, he would have just sat, right? Because that's what he would have done. Like, the Lakers wouldn't have, but like, I've said it before, like Lakers wouldn't have been the 3 seed had they not traded for Luka. Luka was a big part of that because Anthony Davis hurt and then LeBron ended up going down. Anthony Davis rushed back from injury because he got traded and Dallas fans were losing their minds. So Anthony Davis felt like, hey, let me show you. Yeah, I know you just lost your guy, but hey, look what I can do. And he had what was it, like 23 and 14 at halftime or something like that, and ended up getting hurt. So again, he's a guy that motivated would be ridiculous for this team. I don't hate it. It just depends on the cost. I mean, it'd be a little risky, right? But again, like, I just think you're going to have to make the consolidation trade at some point. And can you really get somebody better than Anthony Davis if he's healthy? It's just a thought. It's not something that like I think the Spurs have to go rush to do. It's not something that I'm like, oh, Spurs have to get this done. Like, no, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. But anyway, let me know your thoughts and opinions down in the comments. That being said, if you haven't liked this video, hit that like button. Helps me a lot. So we enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. Not subscribe to the channel, hit that subscribe button, turn on the bell notifications. Appreciate y'all. See you in the next one. Thank you.